What is Proposition 16? What's going on, everybody? Devil's Advocate here. All right, so what is Proposition 16? So before we get into Proposition 16, I think it's smart to go ahead and start from the beginning and then work our way up to where we are right now with Proposition 16. So, Jim Crow laws. If you're not familiar with Jim Crow laws, you should be. Everybody should be familiar with Jim Crow laws. If you aren't, do a little bit of research. Just to give a little recap, segregation. Black people over here, white people over here, blah, 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 blah. So, after Jim Crow laws, we have affirmative action. Affirmative action goes into place to try to make good on the Jim Crow law somewhat. And then workplaces have quotas where they have to, hire a certain amount of black people, blah, 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 blah. Right? So that wasn't good enough because it had its own set of problems. So they said, okay, well, we're going to go with Proposition 209. So Proposition 209 made affirmative action pretty much null and void. Pretty much saying that it's improper to hire anybody based on race, sex, creed, religion, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to hire somebody, you hire somebody based on their skill and their merit alone. Nothing else. Their ability to do the job. That's what Proposition 209 is. That's what's in place right now. Which brings us to today. Proposition 16. That's going to be on the ballot in November for people to vote on. And if successful, Proposition 16 will make Proposition 209 null and void. So, long story short, if people vote for Proposition 16, we're going to be back where we were before 209, which is affirmative action. So, I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, okay, we got to remember. I got to remember where this is taking place. This is taking place in California. This is taking place in the state of a whole bunch of good ideas. It's full of good idea fairies, right? So I'm thinking, if I'm a good idea fairy, why the hell would I even try to get something like that on the ballot? That got voted on. That wasn't unanimously, but it won enough votes to make it onto the ballot. So, I'm thinking, okay, what's the fight for this? I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, if I'm a good idea fairy, I'm thinking, well, maybe if we could get Proposition 16 into place, then black people could have their own community over here, and white people could have their own community over here, and Asians and Hispanics and gays and trans and whatever else you can think of. Everybody can have their own safe space and they can just battle amongst themselves. It'd be peace and harmony everywhere. Separate but equal. Separate but equal. Does that sound familiar at all? Now I'm sitting there asking myself, what are we doing? Is this a move forward? Or is this a move backward? Let me know. Let me know in the description below. Leave a comment. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Am I off base? Apparently the progressives over there, apparently they know more than me. I seem to be pretty simple and basic in what I think should be done and what shouldn't be done. But you guys out there who think this is a good idea, let me know in the comments below. Am I off base? Is there a good reason to be doing something like this? I'm not sure. Intuition tells me that if it didn't work in the past and it had its own set of problems then, what's going to be any different now? And I'm thinking to myself, did anybody contemplate the idea that if this were to go into place, the rich, powerful people that still have the authority to pull the trigger on what gets funded and not get funded, those people are still in place. So if this goes through, then it sounds like to me that people are opting to try to get a little win for a big loss. They're trying to get grasp on a little W for a big old fat L. It's not going to work out the way they think it is. I guarantee it. If this goes through, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be real bad. But hey, I could be off base. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. So I'm like, okay, Proposition 16. I just wanted to make a quick video on this because I know I like to research. I like to study stuff. I had no idea that this was even on there. I was just looking through some stuff and it popped up. I was like, whoa, let me talk about this because I didn't even know about this. So I'm assuming if I don't know about this, a lot of people don't know about this because we know most people don't want to research anything. You'd rather watch a real quick 5-minute video than do a whole bunch of research, and that's fine. I'll take on the burden of the research so that you can get a nice little compressed video, get the information delivered to you. So, with that said, think about it. Think about where it's at right now. It's in California. And if that goes through in California, think about the possibility of that spreading across the United States. One more point I want to make. As I was closing out the video, I thought something real quick. I was like, whoa. Thinking about where this is coming from, considering that this is coming out of the state of California, and considering all the other things that have come out of California recently. Now, I could be way off base. This could be me spiraling down my conspiracy theory mindset. But if this was removed, right? If this was removed and people were allowed to resegregate, is it fair to say that that would make it a lot easier for people such as pedophiles to find some type of safe haven? What do you think? You think if people were allowed to resegregate, form their own communities, where there really wouldn't be a whole lot of interference from the outside, that pedophiles might find a way to create their own sanctuary city, their own environment for which they can thrive and not be bothered by outside interference? Now, I'm not making any claims, but we are in the age of what seems to be insane ideas and propositions. So that little epiphany just kind of came out of thin air, and I was just, you tell me, do you think that that might be something that could be a conceivable idea in the state of California? That's it.